All right. Hi, welcome to Sonder Sisterhood. I'm Carrie. This is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. I'm back with Leslie. We're at NutriFit. We just worked out. We had a great workout. And today we're talking about hydration, alcohol, nutrition. So thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, we're just going to cut right in. So, how does alcohol impact nutrition? And we're starting right with alcohol, apparently. Sorry. How does alcohol impact nutrition and emotional well-being when you're solo? And what are some mindful ways to enjoy it or not enjoy it?
Okay.
If the background of this question is when you're alone a lot, and sometimes when your mood isn't that great, we can sometimes turn to something like alcohol in a way that isn't maybe as healthy.
Yes.
So
I'll start with how it impacts your well-being, right? A lot of people do lean on it when they're feeling lonely or sad or anxious, whatever it may be. And alcohol is a depressant, so it can enhance those feelings, especially if you're by yourself drinking. How it affects your nutrition, your liver is in charge of processing your fat, processing toxins in your body, and alcohol is a toxin. So when you do drink, your liver, your whole body puts everything on hold to process that toxin. So when you're working out really hard at the gym or you're going for walks and you're trying to improve your health overall, you drink the night before, your body is not processing, say you're going on a walk, you're typically burning fat, your body's not processing that fat, right? Your liver is still processing the alcohol from the night before. So it's hindering your progress in cardiovascular health and if you're trying to lose weight in that aspect as well.
yeah, thanks for saying that. I think some of us kind of feel like, oh, just a little bit isn't going to have too big of an impact. And again, there's balance with everything. And just know for every action, there's a reaction and there's a give and take for all of those things. What are some, and I'll ask you this, like just in terms of anything that you do as someone who is mindful of your health and your body and what you put in your body and how you treat your body. What are some alternatives to winding down with a glass of wine when maybe you're feeling lonely or emotionally depleted?
So I have listened to a couple of podcasts where they say if you are going to drink, there are options that like overall alcohol will deplete your gut microbiome, right? You want that healthy microbiome to keep yourself, your immunity up and keep yourself balanced. And take this with a grain of salt because everyone's got their own opinions on it. Obviously moderation, but things like red wine and beer are healthier for your gut microbiome, not your weight loss, not your health, but if you're trying to, make different options. I've heard that those things can be safer choices. However, they're higher in calorie and sugar. So I think that keeping that in mind when you're planning.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to take the good with the bad.
Totally, yeah.
And the good is going to be a very, very lowercase g. Right? I think one of the things that I try and do as someone who comes home or ends work and now I'm home alone and sometimes your brain starts to wander and it's just really easy to manage stress with like a glass of wine or a cider or things like that, that's where I actually do try and work out after work in order to help sort of re-kick and reset my brain to be focusing on good decisions and things that I want to do. Those of you know I have a very stressful job, and so that's one of the things that I do. Coloring, things with my hands. You mentioned knitting earlier. For all of my British viewers, I know you have some knitting needles stored somewhere. Things like that, like things with your hands. I think back in the 80s, it was like, what do you do versus like smoking a cigarette at night? And this is maybe what we do.
Yeah. It's keeping your mind busy, keeping your hands busy. I think I mentioned last time going for a walk when you're in craving something. I meant to mention earlier too, some things that work for me is I know you don't want to sit there and drink water, right? That's what's making you feel kind of maybe on edge or like you need a little something. So herbal tea has helped me in the past. I love kombucha, which is great for your gut. And also those like poppy drinks.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, I like those. And so then you feel like you're having like a little treat, right?
Yeah.
Which can help, in place of an alcoholic beverage.
I like is it bubbly or bubbly?
Right, yeah, the sparkling water.
Yeah.
Those are good options too.
I know my mom sometimes will, Actually, my mom does this with wine, but like juice and 7-Up or like juice and Sprite, just to give it like a fizzy kick.
And I've even made a mocktail with a sparkling water. Get a good flavor that you like. I've like muddled some blueberries, put some simple syrup in, and then you feel like you're having a cocktail. But put it in a pretty glass. That always helps too. I'll put it in a wine glass, or I'll put it in like a coupe or something, and it feels fancy and cute.
Before we go too far off alcohol, I just want to say the other thing that I think sometimes, as a therapist, this is what people will tell me, is sometimes I'll have a glass of wine at night because it helps me sleep. And I'm like, does it though? Because I think sometimes it helps people fall asleep, but then I can't remember the science behind this, but there's something that then occurs that activates you, and most of the time people are not having as good a quality of sleep at night, or they're waking up at like 2 a.m. and then struggling to fall back asleep. So as a therapist, when someone tells me they're having trouble sleeping, one of the questions I ask them, no matter who they are, is, can you talk to me about your alcohol intake? Because that has a much bigger impact than I think a lot of people realize, which then lack of sleep is kind of this. Sleep is sort of like the central driver of the body in a lot of ways. And so if you're not sleeping well, then the dominoes start to fall, and they fall for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're now on to meal prepping and meals. Are you good with that? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any meal prepping hacks that work well for one-person households?
Absolutely. So I lived alone for a couple of years, and one of my favorite easy things to do, I would prep rice for the week, rice or like a sweet potatoes, like just roasted. And then I would have salad kits on hand. So whatever flavors you like, right? They have so many different options that comes with the dressing, with all that. You could break it into 2, and then all you have to do, you can even prep your meat ahead of time if you want, but I just didn't. I had like a little George Foreman, and I would cook my chicken.
George Foreman.
Yeah.
High 90s. I remember George Foreman.
Grill my chicken and then, or whatever meat you want, or you can even do tofu, right? Like whatever you like, and then you can just mix it all together, and it's done. It takes like 5 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, that is my favorite thing. Put everything in a bowl, a one-stop shop. That's what I like the best.
I see that a lot. Like people like rice, protein, and then like dump a bunch of veggies in there.
Yep.
The sauces can sometimes take you out, but
Yes.
Just being mindful of that. And that's something that you can like prep ahead of time too.
Yeah.
When I'm like really humming along, I'll put on music and prep, and then I'll put it in the fridge, because my problem is I work from home. So if I don't have something really easy to grab for lunch, and when I mean easy, I mean this and then this, right? Then I will skip lunch. And now I'm done with work, and now I am door dashing a million different things. Okay, what's your go-to no-fuss meal that still supports strength and energy without overthinking it? Might be similar to what you just said.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like it's the same thing. Even now I'm living with someone, and last night he grilled a steak, and I put a salad together, and then that's what we had.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy. But again, anything that can be in bowl form. So I love making like a taco burrito bowl, because then you're getting like beans and fiber and chicken and lots of veggies, and you can make it spicy, you can make it savory, like whatever you want. So
when I met with Natalie for the nutrition thing, one of the things that she did is a baked potato. And normally on a baked potato, I'm putting cheese, sour cream, butter. Like I am obsessed with baked potatoes. However, I think she might have done a little bit of sour cream, maybe not that
or
bad.
Greek yogurt.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then it was like ground turkey. Like she's then like stuffed it with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, why have I never thought of that?
Yeah.
But it was really good too. And it was easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the baked potatoes can sometimes take a long time to cook.
Microwave them.
Yeah. But that was, I thought that was really good too. But yeah, I think rice, protein, and then throw veggies on it.
Yeah, you can even do something like quinoa is super high in fiber and protein, so that's a great substitution. Lentils also really high in fiber. I'm gonna get a little off track here, but colon cancer is rising in adults 60 and under, and working on incorporating a ton of different varieties of fiber is a really good way to get ahead of that and to help with not only like your gut health, but like fighting cancer overall. So women should have at least 25 grams a day, and men should be having, I think is it 30, Heidi?
Fiber?
Yeah.
32 grams for men?
I think 30 grams is right. I
30.
think 25 to 30.
Yep.
Which is really easy. Do you guys remember the top foods for fiber?
No, come here, Heidi.
Yeah. So there's
All right.
some big ones.
Tell us.
I am not getting 25 grams of fiber. I know that.
Yeah, and I would say start small.
That's harder, I think, than maybe you realize. But okay, this is Heidi. She's also a trainer. So
Hi, guys.
what are the top foods for fiber then?
Avocados. Most of you love
yeah.
avocados,
Yeah.
right? Don't use this as an excuse to hit the guac with chips, set the corn chips down, right? But you can use avocados like at home. I will do that in wraps. I'll use it instead of mayonnaise, which mayonnaise is not the devil, but at the same time, if you can replace mayo with a whole food, especially a whole food that has an enormous amount of fiber, then it's a win-win. Berries. Raspberries are the top. Those are the big dog for fiber,
Yeah.
but any of the berries will do as well.
And like putting avocado is good in the bowls that you talked about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Or even like egg. I guess that's not protein, but I mean that's not fiber, but that's protein. Okay.
Chia seeds and artichokes.
Chia seeds, artichokes, yep. Any plant-based food, right? Any plant-based food. And where Leslie is talking about rising colon cancer, our body has to have plant-based fiber, right? That's where we get fiber. You don't get fiber from meat. And so think about feeding your jungle. In your gut microbiome is this wonderful jungle of bacteria. And it should be mostly good, and there might be some bad ones in there. So individuals, and studies have shown individuals that are on like high meat diets, like a keto diet, unfortunately, your little jungle is kind of starving. It really needs fruits and vegetables to be optimal, and that will even transfer into anxiety, depression, immune system. I mean, it's been called the second brain of your gut. So yeah, you can't go wrong with fiber, and think in terms of lots and lots of variety, as opposed to I eat 6 satellite dishes of broccoli and cauliflower. You want lots of different kinds. So every time you go to the grocery store, buy one new item of produce that you didn't have the last week.
So balanced, like balance is what we're talking about.
And also eating within season too. So like in the fall, there's lots of squash and zucchinis and things like that are in season.
The farmer's market.
Yeah. Exactly,
Check one of my other vlogs. We went to the farmer's market in Longmont. Have you been to the farmer's market
It's
in Longmont?
fantastic.
Yeah, it's so. I don't think I bought any veggies. I bought all sunflowers, but
Which I wouldn't recommend eating.
You can use the seeds. They have fibers too.
Yeah.
I do like sunflower seeds. That's great. Okay, so check out your local farmers markets too. Thanks, Heidi.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck with your guts, guys.
What are some staples to keep in the kitchen that make it easier to nourish meals? I think Heidi really just talked a lot about that too, but like rice, quinoa, maybe lentils, protein.
Potatoes last a good while.
Yeah, that's such a good point because I think for sometimes when you are solo and you're cooking, especially produce, it's hard to eat it all before it goes bad. That's one of the things that I struggle with.
Yeah.
But then I try and remind myself, you can put this on so much more stuff than what you're actually putting it on.
Yeah. Microgreens is a big one.
Yeah.
Those are becoming huge, and you can put that on top of literally everything, even your breakfast.
I mean, you could just find ways to put it on more stuff.
Yeah.
It's like thinking outside the box. I'll tell you, like, I hope my mom will see this. So my mom is Welsh. So ask me if I've had a boiled anything. Ask me if I've had a boiled vegetable. No shade to the Welsh people here, but you know, my mom grew up in Wales in the 50s on rations and stuff like that. And I will tell you, there's also more ways to cook vegetables.
Oh yeah. Than just boiling it.
Yeah. Than you may realize. So that's the other thing to take a look at. If you are like, I don't really like vegetables, or I don't like this vegetable, consider cooking it a different way. That was something that happened for me. Everything was boiled, and then I remember my room.
Steamed.
Yeah, it was boiled. My mom like boiled the shit out of everything. And I remember I had a roommate in college whose boyfriend like roasted vegetables with like olive oil and stuff, and I was like,
That's
what?
my favorite way to have them.
Yeah. Or even on the grill. Okay.
Yeah.
My mom's a good cook. I don't mean that, but you know. If you know, you know. I guess. How do you deal with cooking fatigue when you're the only one benefiting from the effort? I can speak a little bit about this, but unfortunately mine's going to be like, I don't know, I usually just DoorDash, but maybe you have something more healthy.
Like you're tired of cooking?
I'm tired of it, and I'm like, it's like the same 5 meals. I'm eating the same, like I'll make something and now I've got it in the refrigerator and I'm eating it for 5 days, or it's just exhausting to cook constantly. Like, what do you do to like keep it interesting? I felt really intense about that. Sorry.
That is one thing. I just had a health coaching session last week and we talked about this. It was a group session. If you're finding that you're meal prepping the same thing all the time and you're getting tired of it, but it's working for you, I would say changing the sauce. You can make it.
Oh, good tip.
Yeah, you can make it like soy sauce based. You can make it Italian seasoning based. You can do a little bit of a creamy based, just changing the flavor, like a mustard based, like that's one thing that you can add a sauce to like any kind of chicken or salad or whatever it may be to keep it a little bit different, and it's working still, right? If you are, I use Pinterest every single week before I go grocery shopping. Yeah. I love Pinterest. Yeah. It helps, right? If you're stumped, you can even ask ChatGPT if you have like 4 ingredients in your pantry.
Yeah.
Ask ChatGPT, I have these 4 things, what can I make? And maybe it can help you.
That's a great tip too. That's a great tip too. I am using ChatGPT more for like rewriting rude emails into polite emails, but I need to think about it in terms of my personal life too. Yeah. How do you balance eating for health and emotional comfort without guilt, especially when no one else is around to witness the choice? Hello, Chick-fil-A.
Oh my God, yeah. I just want to start with you are not alone. I feel like everyone struggles with this. I struggle with this. One thing that helps me, and I think we had touched on it a little bit, is getting out of the house. Right? Yeah. If you're craving something, I usually give myself 3 days. Say, I won't tell myself no, right? I'll say, wait 3 days, and if you're still craving it, you can have it. Typically, you'll forget about it. Yeah. Right? So first thing, get out of the house, call a friend, something to distract you, to get your mind off of it, and then, or even have, like, if you have a balanced snack or meal set aside, like, have that. I would say, try not to tell yourself no, right? Because then you're depriving yourself. So start with those things first. And then also, if you do end up having something, try to avoid guilting yourself about it, right? Have it, indulge in it, enjoy it, and then move on, right? Yeah. Don't punish yourself afterwards, accept that you did the thing, you had the meal, you enjoyed it, you liked it, and then move forward from there.
Those are great tips. I try and do all of those things, particularly where I try and do something else first, and then I try and find like an alternative something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I end up doing it, and sometimes I don't. Yeah. But even just making the intentional decision versus reacting to an emotional feeling or negative thoughts and trying to distract myself from those through food, right? Yeah. Try to go to that other thing. It's not easy. It's not, yeah. And you will not be 100% on it, but the good news is, even if you, like the 1% rule, even if you are able to do it successfully 1 time a week to start, that's perfect. That's great. You're gonna build off your successes.
It takes practice having that mindfulness about food in general.
And I think you also touched on, don't tell yourself you can't have something.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You can have whatever you want, but are you choosing? What do you want to choose, right, for yourself?
When your life isn't turning out as planned, right? Sometimes life for lots of people doesn't turn out as planned. But along with that, and this is just life in general, mood can dip, you can go through highs and lows of life, things like that. What are some of the ways that we can use food in order to help us or pull the food lever in order to help us with our mood, our energy, our motivation?
Okay. So I feel like kind of what we just said, right? Focusing on what we do get to eat and rather than what we can't eat or don't want to eat is a very, like, looking at it in a positive, right? So changing it from I can't have that to I get to eat this instead, right? I get to eat this food that's gonna give me energy, that's gonna make me feel good, that's not gonna make me want to take a nap in the middle of the day. Yeah. Right, just changing that narrative for yourself and focusing on the positive rather than the negative. And then paying attention to foods that actually do those things for you, right? So say you have that takeout, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You're feeling in a slump the rest of the day. You're
Yes.
feeling tired. You're feeling lethargic. You don't want to go for that walk. You don't want to go to your personal training appointment.
Burn.
So say you do have your salad kit, right, with your protein and all your veggies, and then you're feeling energized and you're feeling like, all right, I will go and take
Yeah.
Gavin for a walk, or whatever it may be, right? So I think focusing on the positives is a huge switch that you can take away from that.
There's like, food is one of those things where nutrition is a lever that we can pull to help us feel better. It can also go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be there's so much that we inherently couple with food sometimes, like that feeling of feeling nurtured,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to disentangle
Yeah.
that. And that's where a therapist can be helpful as well. So lots of really good tips around nutrition. Oh, we didn't talk about water. How much water should we be drinking, for God's sakes?
I think it depends on how active you're being.
Okay.
So typically, and everyone's going to have a little bit of a different opinion on this as well, right? Like everyone has a different opinion on fitness and food and everything. I would say if you're being active throughout the day, a half gallon, so 64 ounces, right? That's 8 glasses of 8 cups of water, right, in the daytime. If you find yourself on a rest day or maybe traveling or something, well, you need more water when you're traveling, but maybe you don't need as much that day, right? And then listen to your body. If you're getting up to pee every 20-30 minutes, I think you're hydrated.
You're
You're
good.
there, yeah.
Okay. Leslie, thank you for, again, taking the time to talk with us about these things. It's really important, again, that we pull the levers that we can pull in order to help ourselves. And food, nutrition is absolutely one of those, along with moving our body. So Leslie does see people virtually anywhere in the world. And so I'm going to put the link for NutriFit down below. And if you want to reach out to Leslie, you can fill out the contact form and just put Leslie's name in there. This is not sponsored. I'm receiving no incentives or anything like that for this. What I feel though is I feel very strongly on how helpful this can be for not only your physical health, but your mental health. And also I feel like Leslie has the right balance, the right temperament, the right personality, and is very encouraging and just a very welcoming way. And so I trust Leslie to kind of start you on the journey, I guess, if it's something that you're interested in. Don't forget to subscribe to Saunders Sisterhood. This is a channel for the single and for the childless, not by choice person. Thanks, Leslie.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's do some type of,
Oh, thank God I'm sweaty.
I know, get in and do a thing.
Oh, it was the mail.
Jesus.
Good?